I've got my red and yellow on, brother, so you know what that means. We're going Hulkamania. Could Prime Hulk Hogan survive in today's WWE? Hulk Hogan is without a doubt one of the most iconic wrestlers of all time. From the golden era of the 1980s to his shocking heel turn in WCW's NWO, Hogan defined an entire generation of wrestling. But here's the question. If you took Prime Hulk Hogan, say 1985 to 1992, and dropped him into today's WWE, would he sink or would he swim? Will the 24-inch pythons draw record crowds? Would the Hulkamania movement overpower social media, or would he be exposed as a relic of the bygone era? Let's break this down by looking at key aspects of wrestling today compared to Hogan's prime. Number one, the in-ring style. Could Hogan keep up with one of the biggest differences between the 1980s WWE, WWF, and the modern WWE in work today? Wrestling is much faster and athletic and features high-risk moves that weren't common in Hogan's era. Wrestlers like Seth Rollins, Ricochet, and AJ Styles thrive on the agility and a variety of moves that keep audiences engaged. Hogan, on the other hand, was a power-based old-school brawler. His move was set simple: big boot, leg drop, clothesline, atomic drop, and a bear hug. But would that style hold up today? Not likely. The modern WWE audience expects longer, high-intensity matches with sequences that tell a compelling in-ring story. Take the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, for example. While he uses his power moves, his matches are built beyond strategic pacing, and his finishes are dynamic counters. Hogan's simplistic moveset might be too predictable for today's fans. Also, modern WWE matches aren't really designed for the Superman comeback that defined Hogan in the 80s. Fans brought into that idea that Hogan could absorb tons of punishment, Hulk up, and win out of nowhere. You know how he used to do that thing? Today, fans are more critical and demand realistic near falls and match storytelling. Hence why WWE is in the long game. That said, Hogan was a master of crowd psychology. He didn't need 50 moves. He just needed 3 and the ability to make the audience care. And that's something that could still work, especially today, with a well-crafted persona like Hulk Hogan. Number 2, promos and character. Would Hulkamania work today? Hogan's promo style was legendary, but very much a product of its time. In the 80s and early 90s, fans loved his loud, over-the-top delivery. Well, let me tell you something, brother. Train, say your prayers, and eat your vitamins. What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you? But in 2025, that kind of promo wouldn't really work. Today's promos are more realistic, conversational, and sometimes unscripted. Wrestlers like CM Punk, Mic Drop, Kevin Owens, and LA Knight connect with the audiences by sounding natural, like they're cutting a cartoonish promo. Hogan's whole real American hero persona also might feel outdated in today's era. While nostalgia might get him an initial pop, modern fans demand characters with layers and depth. Look at Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, has dominated WWE because his character evolved into a complex, ruthless leader. If Hogan wanted to stay relevant, he'd have to reinvent his character. The goofy, overly wholesome good guy might struggle in an era where fans cheer anti-heroes like frickin' Seth Rollins or even dominant heels like Gunther. Number 3, social media and fan engagement. Okay, this is a new battle. Let's be honest, Hulk Hogan was social media before social media even existed. In the 1980s, his catchphrases, mannerisms, and merchandise made him a pop culture icon. But how would he adapt to Twitter, X, Instagram, and TikTok era? Modern WWE superstars interact with fans constantly, whether it's Logan Paul cutting promos on YouTube, Becky Lynch getting to Twitter or X feuds, or The Rock trending the entire social media. Today's wrestlers thrive on real-time engagement. Could Hogan keep up? Maybe. He's already active on social media in real life, but in his prime, his character was larger than life, almost too big to engage with fans on a personal way. Would he be tweeting at Seth Rollins? Would he be cutting TikTok promos on Cody Rhodes? It's hard to imagine. Also, Hogan thrived in an era where kayfabe was still alive. Today's wrestlers break character all the time online. Would Hulk Hogan, the ultimate super babyface, be able to separate Terry Bollea from Hulk Hogan? In a world where everyone knows wrestling is scripted, I don't know. Number 4, would WWE even push Hogan today? Here's the big one. Would today's WWE even push Prime Hulk Hogan the way Vince McMahon did in the 80s? On one hand, Hogan's charisma would look like he'd still make him a draw. He had the WWE look, big, muscular, and the larger-than-life feel. That still matters, but WWE's priorities have changed. In 2025, they push athletic workhorses. Guys like Seth Rollins, Gunther, Cody Rhodes, crossover stars like Logan Paul and Pat McAfee, unique, larger-than-life characters like Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns. Would Hogan fit in any of these categories? I mean, maybe. His star power alone would guarantee him a spot. We know that. But he wouldn't dominate the way he did in the 80s. WWE no longer revolves around one guy. It's a roster filled with stars. If you ask me, Hulk Hogan, like you see, I grew up with Hulk Hogan. So I am a product of the 80s, yes, and I am a Hulkamania. In fact, it was 1987. I was 7 years old, jumping on my couch, flipping the channels, and I came across wrestling. It was a Saturday, and I ended up watching a promo of Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. And I'll tell you what, I didn't even know what wrestling was at the time, but I kept an eye on that show, and I looked at the time, and then I told myself that next Saturday, I'm going to turn the TV on the same channel on the same show, and guess what? It was on again. And that's how I became a fan. But it was ideally Hogan's promos that got me hooked. 40 years later, I'm still talking wrestling. So it damn well worked, and Hulk Hogan was the man back in the day. Now, if we're talking about Hollywood Hogan, his black and white NWO persona, things get more interesting. In the late 90s, Hogan reinvented himself as a cocky, arrogant villain, complete with black and white tights, sunglasses, and the infamous spray-painted championship belt. That was iconic. That version of Hogan might actually do better in today's WWE. Why? Because modern wrestling fans love anti-heroes. Look at Roman Reigns' heel run, or The Rock's recent return as an egotistical villain, the final boss. It works. Hollywood Hogan in his prime could absolutely fit in today's product as a dominant, power-hungry veteran who manipulates the system. Could Hollywood Hogan in his prime feud with Cody Rhodes? Absolutely. Would he cut promos trashing Logan Paul for being fake? A fake superstar? Without a doubt. That version of Hogan was far more layered and manipulative, which would allow him to thrive in a character-driven, reality-based WWE landscape. Final verdict, could Hogan survive? The answer, yes, but not as the guy. Would Hulkamania run as wild as it did back in the day? Probably not. The landscape is just too different. But I think Hollywood Hogan would be able to pull it off. You see, wrestling isn't just about adapting. It's about standing out. And if there's one thing Hogan has always done, it's that. And that's the real deal, brother.